Hi and welcome to Boing Boom Talk episode 2. This is my new weekly video live podcast where I'll hang out with you guys, talk about the latest in synths, drum machines, music production technology and whatnot. And also once in a while invite guests over or try out new stuff. And today I have new stuff to try out. In case you watched this week's episode of In the Loop, my also new weekly music tech news update. I talked about a new software synthesizer called PortaFM by Plogue. It's the first instrument of their new chip synth line, which is a instrument line focused on retro, lo-fi-ish kind of synthesizers or instruments. And PortaFM is the first one, and it's based on the Yamaha PSS keyboard series from the 80s. You remember these kind of cheesy, toyish, lo-fi sounding keyboards? Everyone had one. Me too. I think it was the first keyboard I ever had. It was a Yamaha PSS something. I think they were built well into the 90s. Perhaps they even still exist, I don't know. But the synth engine or the music engine, the sound engine was based on a very cheap FM chip. I think it was the YM2413. It's called. I'm not quite sure there. And it's a very basic 2-operator FM chip, very low cost, and that gave these keyboards their distinct lo-fi sound. And Plogue created this virtual instrument called PortaFM, which is not based on samples, but it emulates these low-cost FM chips from the PSS series. But also it adds additional modulation effects and more control than you would ever have with these keyboards, because they were not meant to be like synthesizers, but mostly just preset basic keyboards for kids or for, I don't know, for entertainment, home entertainment purposes. So PortaFM gives you more than that. After I reported or talked about it on the In the Loop episode on Tuesday, I got in touch with them and they sent me over a copy of PortaFM to check out. I will do a review video. Perhaps I'll also do a tutorial video how to use this. But today I will check it out for the very first time together with you. I have not used it a lot. Actually, I just installed it yesterday and checked out some presets. So I don't know how to use it yet. This I will find out, hopefully find out here and now with you guys on the stream. So bear with me if I don't do any magic with it yet. By the way, let's open this up. There it is. That's how it looks like. PortaFM, very nice user interface. And if you got any questions, any suggestions what to do with this while checking it out, just let me know. Also today I'm not wearing a hat. This is a very rare occasion. You will barely ever see me without one, but it's so hot here in Berlin today. It's crazy hot. It's almost like, it's like summer basically. And it felt hot. So I left the hat away. So I got more. I keep a cool head because I actually am in a pretty cranky mood today. I don't know why. I had a bad day. I was about to not even stream, but then I was like, okay, I committed to streaming live once a week on Saturdays with you guys. So no matter the mood, I'll always try to do that. That's why I'm here. Despite the cranky mood. And I'm also late, sorry for that. That was because of recurring technical difficulties setting up the stream. I'm streaming live on Twitch and YouTube at the same time, and streaming itself comes with some difficulties streaming simultaneously on both with even more, and it took more than an hour to sort the problems out. I guess this will keep happening, so don't expect me to be super tight on time. I'll always try to stream around 7 PM CET, that is. But yeah, it could be a few minutes, or like today, I think it's almost 2 hours late. It happens. So let's take a look at PortaFM. If I switch to the full screen, you can see more of it. Yeah, here we go. So the user interface is... My first impression was, yeah, okay, it's nice colors, and it kind of looks manageable. It has 2 operators, so here you have your modulator, and here's the carrier. The carrier is the one you hear. The modulator is the one you modulate the carrier with. Very basic 2 operator FM modulation. And as there's only 2 operators, there's only one algorithm. Modulator modulating carrier. There's no more possibilities to interconnect them as you would have with more than 2 operators. The more operators, the more complex and the higher number of algorithms you get. With 2, there's just one way to hook them up to each other. The modulator modulates the carrier. So as I can see, we have the ADSR envelope for the carrier and for the modular, as you usually have with FM synthesizers. And there's the multiplier, the level, and FB, I guess that's feedback? I'm not too sure. We'll figure that out step by step. I think there's a... Maybe before I look it up in the... there's a manual, and it's a good manual. I took a look at it already. Maybe we can look into that later to get deeper into the use. But for now, let's just keep getting an overview. It's a modulator, there's a carrier. There's a drum section here. I have not figured out yet how to play them with a controller or something. I can play them by clicking them, but I didn't manage to assign them to the keyboard or to the push or whatever. But I'll figure that out. It's fine. So there are 4 other tabs here. There's performance. So it appears I can stack. I can stack 2 sounds on top of each other, which is nice. And here I can assign the drum synth to keys. And there's all sorts of adjustments like glide, panorama, volume, coarse and fine, tune, etc. But nice. And delay, I guess that's input delay. So if I stack 2 sounds, I hit a key and one of them had a delay, that sound would be triggered slightly after the other. I assume that's what this does, but we'll check that out. There's a tab called sequence or sequencer. I'm not sure so far what it does. Perhaps it allows me to sequence. Maybe it's like a, I'm not sure. Is it like a modulation source sequence, and it could be assigned to something? I don't know yet. We'll find out. So there's a effects section. There's an arpeggiator, a chorus, a reverb, and a stereo delay built in. And there is something called VGM. I don't know what that is. I just clicked on this little thing here. And then it says VGM song links for chip-synced products. You can find VGM albums playable on PortaFM. So it's sort of a file format that contains complete songs, which I could import here and play with PortaSynth, obviously. Okay. So here we have modulations. Source, step 1, destination, math. Okay, I can add more. Let's see how many. there is a limit. Okay, I keep adding and adding and adding. I don't know if that's a good idea. Let's remove them. So I can add a lot of modulation slots here, which is interesting. The Yamaha PSS keyboards never gave you that opportunity, I'm sure. So what is pre-routed here? Step 1, layer detune. Okay, I know what that means. And there's the settings, pitch bend range, velocity. You can change the size of the user interface, which is pretty nice. I have it set to 150 now to fill the screen more or less, so you can see more. Yeah, that's about it. The chip synth PortaFM, that's how it looks. And if you go to Plog's website, let's do that. What's going on? Did I just... You'd think 2 huge screens are enough to comfortably stream live, but actually I think I need a third one to make this work. Let's go to the Plog website. Has troubles loading right now. I don't know why. Ah, okay, there it is. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, here we are. Okay, here we are on the chip synth PortaFM website, on the Plog website, and let's check it out. It's the first chip synth line. It's a unique 2-operator FM synth, very quirky feature set. Late 80s PSS series, was cheesy and made of plastic, but had a very unique sound which was lost to time. Some of the most well-known examples of synthesizers in this series include the PSS 140, PSS 270 mini keyboards, and the SHS 10 keytar. Ah yes, the keytar. Not willing to just copy the past, we designed a new synthesizer that features the same, etc, etc. Okay, modulation. Okay, it looks nice. So you can buy it from Plog online right now for 29.75 euros, around 30 euros, and that should be, we can check it directly. It's like $35. Very affordable plugin. So I guess let's take a listen to some of the presets to check it out, to get an idea of how it sounds. I'm gonna turn up the volume a bit, I guess. Okay. Yeah, of course it's polyphonic, in case I didn't mention that yet. I noticed already yesterday when I checked it out, there's quite a lot of presets. And down here, there's also custom sounds. I have not figured out yet what the difference is, but my thought is that sounds are, instruments contain a sound or two stacked sounds plus effects and modulation, etc. And you can also store these sounds individually. So you can create a sound with the modulator and carrier, etc., and store it, and then add another sound and modulation, etc., and then store that as an instrument, which is like the containing the file with the sounds, etc., in it. That's how I understood it. These sounds seem to come from, at least some of them, from classic PSS keyboards. So let's check out some presets first. I'll adjust the gate on my K-Mix so you don't hear the taps on the pads. Let's see if it's possible even. Yeah, it is, but it will also... let's try it. Yeah, okay. For now, that'll do. If my voice is cut off too often, I'll have to lower the threshold of the gate again, but for now, it should help. You hear the pure sound without the tapping on the pads of my push controller, which is in front of me. You can see it. A very nice sound, actually, and it's the first bass preset. It doesn't sound nice. They all kind of that sounds familiar. They sound, a bit crunchy and lo-fi in a good way, which is what you'd expect from something like this. Very, very basic. Late bass. That has to be a try on the lately bass. Yeah, kind of. Not quite, but reminds of it. Cool. Respace. Oh, nice. Yeah. One for the drum bass heads. Even with something as simple as this sine bass, like a sine wave based bass, you have this crunchiness, you know, these little artifacts in the sound. Which add to them being more interesting for the ear. I like it. I'm not sure about that. But let's take a look at the sequence. So here it appears the sequencer is... Yes, the sequencer is modulating something. Let's take a look at the modulations. Step. Not sure. Okay. Next. Oh, that one's great. Before I first tried it yesterday, I thought, okay, it's two operator FM synthesis, it's based on the PSS, so most likely I would want to use it for, you know, chip tune, lo-fi kind of stuff. But when first trying a few presets, I thought this would be great for grime, actually, to make some UK bass or grime tracks with it, because there's many of these sounds in there. Some bells. Yeah. FM, you have to have bells. One of the strengths of this form of synthesis. Oh, that actually sounds very nice. More complex than you'd expect it to be with two operators. Beautiful. Those bells could work well in a synthwave or retrowave context. Nice. Magical Fairyland. Not much of a keyboard player, as you know by now. I more like make beats. But I guess we'll be fine. Bells, bells, bells. If you want to see somebody really play this like an instrument, Cuckoo just did a big video demoing it, I think. Nice. Getting a bit bored of the bells. Let's move on. Brass, another specialty of. Ah, that's beautiful. I'm a sucker for FM brass sounds. I love them. I have Complete Control attached to this. This is hosted in Complete Control, so I will turn on the chord engine here to get a bit more complex chord stuff that I'm not able to play myself, being a sequencer guy. Those sounds are lovely. Also, I think they're clipping. Sorry if that was a bit loud. Let's check out more brass sounds. Beautiful and definitely clipping. Sorry about that. Fine now. So hear these in future tracks I'm doing already. I love it. Hey, is it a multi-stream via YouTube and Twitch? Asks Dynamic Dub Foundation. Hi, dude or gal. It's I'm streaming on YouTube and Twitch via Restream. The setup is that I actually stream to this service called Restream, and then they forward the stream to YouTube and Twitch. I really love Twitch, but of course YouTube is the main place to be for this kind of content. I'm aware of that, but also I'm a big user and fan of Twitch myself, so I want to be on Twitch, even though it's mainly for video games at this point. But I guess the music community on Twitch also is growing, so yeah, here I am. To answer your question, it is a multi-stream, but via Restream. Yeah, so that's that. I'm in love with these brass sounds, totally. Okay, we have string machine, so now we're in... so it was brass and string sounds. Okay, let's check them out. Sound decent. Dynamic Foundation says, nice to see you on Twitch. It's definitely good to see more music or music production content here. Thanks a lot, man. Yeah, and also... I will be more on Twitch, and I'll do Twitch exclusive streams very soon, because I want to do real-time music production, like full-length streams, like working on a track from start to finish. Can take anything between 4 or 8 hours or whatever, and I will stream that in full length, so you can join me and be part of the process for the whole way. And for this, I think Twitch is the better place, because 8-hour live streams on YouTube is not exactly how YouTube works. So, but it's how Twitch works. So I'll do, yeah, we like gamers stream, like the dog streams every day for like 8 hours or something. Why not do something like that with music? I think deadmau5 already does it once in a while. So I'll be doing that too. Dynamic Dub Foundation asks, do you have a timetable? Well, I stream on, if you mean like a schedule when I stream live every Saturday around 7 PM CET. Sometimes like today I'm a bit late due to technical issues or due to live stuff or whatever. And I have another regular upload every Tuesday on YouTube. It's called In the Loop. It's a synthesizer news show update kind of thing. That's every Tuesday. Live streams every Saturday. And in between, I upload videos as they're finished, like tutorials, reviews, all sorts of music production, music tech, synthesizer related content. Yeah. A weekly plan. Yeah. I notice gamers stream every day, some of them like twice or 3 times a day for a couple of hours, but I think with music tech content that would not work out, because you need more time to make videos. For example, doing an in-depth review video of a synthesizer or a drum machine or something like that, which I'm working on at the moment for a couple of stuff. That takes weeks of work, because you have to do your research, and before even starting to write the script, you need to understand this thing that you're talking about and need to use it. Then you have to script it, which can be a lot with a complex synthesizer, and then you have to shoot it, which is the smallest part of the work actually, and then there's editing and post-production. So making a daily video about this sort of content. We entered drumland here. It's I think drums. Okay, that's cool. Daily music tech content would be very tough. I don't know if that's possible. Andrew Wang does like 3 videos a week, but they are mostly more of the creative type, him making music and stuff. But if it's about reviewing and technical stuff and tutorials, yeah, they need more time. Dynamic Dub Foundation says, thanks for the info. I'm not that kind of YouTube guy with an own account, but definitely enjoy your uploaded content on YouTube. Thanks, man. That's nice. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. I do get not everybody necessarily has an account that watches my stuff or is on YouTube. That's fine. I mean, there are benefits to having an account. You can subscribe, and you can hit the bell to always keep updated and stuff. It's cool. This patch is interesting. I wonder how they did that. Let's take a look in the. They do that. Okay. So these little percussive sounds seem to come from the drum section here. Very interesting. Guess they worked with the delays. They use the delays to delay the triggering of the drum sounds to create this little beat. That's very interesting. Yeah, IHWCSS hit the bell. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. That's great. Dynamic Dub Foundation says, or I can remember your name. Yeah, that's totally fine. I'm a big YouTube junkie, and I've subscribed to so many channels and actually watched them on a daily basis. I could not remember them all because there's so many great people out there. And some they don't do that many videos, but when they do every few months, I don't want to miss it. Very interesting patch. So this is the kind of complex patches you could create thanks to the sequencer here and thanks to the modulation section, which you would not get out of a classic PSS keyboard. No way. That would be... there's a whole drum kit. I have to deactivate the scales. Very fragile. Okay, nice. Electric toms. I think these presets are really nice. Actually, there's enough presets in here to make a song purely with PortaFM right away, which I will most likely do. Maybe not in this live stream, but an upcoming live stream for sure. Let's skip the FX. I'm more interested in the keys. Clavinet. I'm not a big fan of clavinet, sounds low. Nice 80s E-piano. Ooh, that one's nice. almost has a EP, like a string. No, what's it called? Steel drum kind of sound to it. Dynamic Dub Foundation says, really enjoy Twitch because of the possibility to communicate in a nearly live environment. It's also possible on YouTube, but only when you're live streaming. Yeah, absolutely. I enjoy that too. It's the better place from a creator perspective. I think it's the better place for live streaming. Not only because of the user base that is 100% used to live streaming situations, because that's what Twitch does. Also, it's way more easy. You just hit stream and go. I never had a hard time streaming live on Twitch, while with YouTube, there's a lot of settings you can mess up. There's the user interface for me as I stream is it's overloaded with options, and they keep changing stuff. So if you haven't streamed for a while, you come back and you have to check everything out again because they changed stuff, and it annoys me. You don't have that with Twitch. Twitch is super easy. Just let's go, and there you go. Check out some more sounds. Oh, I'm getting Facebook messages. I think I'm getting creepy Facebook messages as we're speaking. Let's check that out. Okay, no, I'm not gonna read that loud. It's actually not that creepy. Some of these sounds could also work well with house music. Dynamic Dub Foundation says that's the point. Yes, it is. Dynamic Dub says, by the way, isn't PortaFM a free VST? No, it's not. It costs around $35 or €30. It was released a few days ago. It's pretty new. And I don't know if there has been a free version previously, but I don't believe so. It costs, but not that much. And it's well worth it. I think it's a very nice plugin. It will be a series. It's the first of a whole line of plugins, and I can see myself, getting into collector mode already and wanting them all, because if the others are as cool as this one, that would be neat. And also, they did not officially announce yet which stuff the other ones in this series will be based on. But I discovered this graphic design company, Kaiken Corporation. They designed the user interfaces for the chip synth line, and they already uploaded their designs for the other ones as well. So with a little research, I figured out the other ones would be based on Nintendo Famicom, which was the first or one of the first home entertainment systems, I think exclusively for the Japanese market back then. And I think that became the Nintendo Entertainment System in other parts of the world later with a different design. And what else they have? C64, Commodore, and Super Nintendo, and what I'm most excited about, Sega Mega Drive. I'm not sure about the others, but Sega Mega Drive, I think, is based on an FM chip as well. The C64 should be based on the SID chip, I think. The others, I'm not sure. So I'm not sure if all of the additions to the series will be based on FM chips, but they will all be based on retro machines. And especially Sega Mega Drive, I have one, and my brother, and we played a lot, and I always enjoyed the sound, the music of the games. Totally, I was in love with the sounds, and being able to play a Mega Drive myself. That's awesome. It's an awesome, cool idea. Okay. By the way, isn't PortaFM Super NES? Yes, I think Super NES is Oh, Super NES perhaps was called different in other parts of the world. I'm not sure. Let's check it out. Okay, here it says Super Nintendo Entertainment System, 16-bit, blah 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 blah. No, I think it was the same in the US. Wasn't it? Yeah. The Super Nintendo is also called the Famicom. Super Famicom or Famicom. Yeah, in Japan. And I think the Mega Drive actually was called differently in the US. Yes, it was called Genesis. Here in Europe, we knew it as the Sega Mega Drive, which is the far better name if you ask me. I don't know, Genesis sounds weak compared to Mega Drive. Mega Drive 16-bit. So let's check out some more sounds. Off the background music. With organs. Piano sounds are not the strongest part of FM synthesis. You don't naturally sounding pianos you should not expect from something like this, but what would you? But organs always good. Angry baritone. Are we entering? We're entering the mono instruments. That's a very cool trumpet. Good Boy says, hey Dacci Pucci, big fan. Thanks a lot, Good Boy. I appreciate it. Nice having you. I don't know what sound this happy trumpet preset, which song it reminds me, but I feel like having heard this in a 80s new wave song. I like it. Huh. Sounds like somebody. Nice with the glide. Yeah. Some lead sounds. this. So now we have mono leads. Let's check out the worm. Ohio players. With the next G-funk tracks. Very nice. We have the worm. Some pads. Let's take a listen at the pads. I like that the reverb and delay do not get cut off when I switch to a different preset. Cool. What else do we have? Pads, plucked strings, guitar. Okay. Ooh. Yeah. Nukem. This is so a Duke Nukem 3D soundtrack. I love that one. Cheesy as hell, but it's great. Oh! So many sounds in here have this. They sound so weirdly familiar. Maybe because I spend. Dynamic Foundation says, "Hail to the King, baby." Yeah. Maybe because I spend so much time with the PSS keyboard myself as a kid, or I don't know why, but many of these sounds sound oddly familiar. I couldn't, put a pin on it where exactly I know them from, but they have this. They bring this weird feeling of familiarity with them, and in my opinion, that's a great thing. Awesome. I could also imagine many of these presets in, these advanced UK bass music kind of contexts, stuff that would be released on Hyperdub or something. It's beautiful. I know some people don't care. Dynamic Dub Foundation. Let me read that first. Hard to say how these sounds work in a full track. A lot of stuff sounds definitely familiar, especially when you're a child of the 80s, 90s. Yeah, I agree to that 100%. I guess it comes with FM synthesis, because FM synthesis was omnipresent in the 80s, also still in the 90s. You heard a lot of it. These sounds all are even, no matter if it's 2 or 3 or 4 or 7 or whatever operators, and no matter which which of the FM synths it is, they all sound sort of related to each other because they're based on the same form of synthesis. And even the what are they called? The Casio keyboards. It's not even FM synthesis, but it's phase distortion or whatever, or phase modulation. But even that, it's all kind of related to each other, and that's why it sounds so familiar. It's hard to say how these work in a full track, says Dynamic Dub Foundation. Yeah, I guess my bet is they sound really good. They work really good because if you have like 4, 5, 6, 7 synthesizers or sound generators in a track, and for example they're all analog synthesizers, you will have a hard time separating them from each other because they are all familiar. They have all this. They're all based on the same general vibe of sound aesthetic. And sometimes you need something very different to cut through. I noticed that when I still have the OP1. A lot of the time I would make a track with analog drums from the rhythm and maybe a bass line from the Moog Sub 37 back when I had that one, and pads or keys or something, or arpeggios from the Mini Logue back when I had that. I keep selling stuff, but so it was all analog sounds, and then I took the OP1 to put for a lead sound, for example, and that contrast between warm, fat, and juicy analog sounds and harsh, digital, crunchy sounds. That really did the trick because it was contrast, and by that I learned, okay. It's really good to combine different kinds of synthesizers, different kinds of synthesis in a track to have contrast, to have stuff, not everything glued together like one clump, but to let things pop out more. And I could imagine Ship the Synth with these rather crunchy and lo-fi sounds could do that very well. The DX7 and so on, but often they shine alone, but definitely need some more tweaking for a full production. I agree to that too, because they can sound rather raw and dry in a way, especially without effects. They need some care, of course. I will use chip synth definitely in tracks together with other instruments and samplers and whatever. But I also will do a stream doing a track only with chip synth because I think it's a very good way to learn about the true character of an instrument, doing a track only with that instrument. And it helps you to understand the sound aesthetic of that instrument. And I will do that with PortaFM for sure. So ILWCSS says, I like my Volca FM, throw a guitar FX pedal into the mix and it's awesome. Yeah, I had on Volca FM for a while too. I liked it as well, but I also had a Yamaha TX81Z or Z at the same time. And I figured out the TX81Z could do anything the Volca could do, and was even, I think, had more operators, and but definitely more voices. And you could stack 2 sounds or split or something. So I gave the Volca FM away. and kept the TX81Z. But later on, I got rid of that too because I figured out FM synthesis is actually something that can be done very well with a virtual instrument. Because, apart from the input and output, or the output amps or something, basically it is software. So it doesn't matter if the software runs on an external synth or in my computer. And with Arturia DX7 and with FM7 from Native Instruments and with PortaFM and stuff, they're good, or Dext or something like that. There's many good examples for good sounding FM synths in the box. So I didn't want any external FM synths in my place anymore. The Anecdote Foundation says, how is the handling of PortaFM when starting from an initial patch? I don't know. Let's try. I never did that. I am aware there's an init button. So this is the init setting, initial sound. We know if that's not loud enough. I am aware there are people that are not interested in presets in a synthesizer or instrument at all, because they will do their own sounds all the time. People with a focus on sound design. I'm aware of that, but for me, a big selection of nice presets that I can use right out the box is an important factor, especially when it comes to soft synths, because I'm using soft synthesizers a lot of the time. I'm using them to save time because I'm on schedule. I have a deadline to meet. I have to finish a project for a client in time. For that, I need things to go fast, and I don't need to create the 100 basic sounds you do all the time with all the synthesizers again and again just to prove a point. I want them to be in there already, and want to load it up and quickly dial up the sound I need, and then I can customize it, I can tweak it, and I can go right away. So that is an important factor. For example, Roland's Jupiter 8 plugin emulation from the Roland Cloud. I have that. I love it. It sounds amazing, but it doesn't come with a lot of presets. It's a fairly easy synthesizer program, but still, I don't want to invest that much time creating my own sounds. I want at least the basic sounds to be there already. On the other hand, TAL's, no, I just said Jupiter 8, I meant the Juno 60 actually. And TAL's Juno 60 plugin, I don't know what they call it at the moment. I think TAL Uno LX is the name now, Togo audio line. Perhaps it's not as faithful as of a reproduction of the original Juno as the Roland version is. Maybe the Roland version does sound more like the original, but the Togo audio line or TAL version of the Juno 60 comes with a whole lot more of awesome presets that you can use right out the box. And that's a big factor. I mean, I have the Juno 60 because I have the Roland Cloud already anyway, but if I had to choose between a 100% accurate recreation of a vintage synthesizer with no plugins, with no presets, and a 95% accurate reproduction with hundreds of awesome presets, I will take the one with the presets, because I know in daily work in the studio, I will make more use of that. Okay, so Dynamic Dub Foundation asked, how is the handling of PortaFM when starting from an initial patch? Let's try. So we have the initial sound, and I'll just tweak the modulator a bit to see what happens. If I change the multiplier, I can change the overtones. With 2 times it gets a bit more wooden, and then it gets more and more. Stick with the wooden sound, for example. So crank up the intensity here. At some point it just becomes noise. Nice. And the 80s are... By the way, I have not yet checked out if there are different waveforms available here, but it appears that it's only sine wave, as in many of the old FM synths. Dynamic Dub Foundation says, oh no, presets are definitely worth it. Often when producing, they're a time saver. I asked because of the situation that some FM synths are really hard to handle or really time consuming when starting from scratch. Yeah, that's a very interesting question. As this one has only 2 operators, it's pretty simple. And I think even it's perhaps a good way to get started with FM synthesis for somebody that did not use an FM synth yet, or just use it as a preset machine and not getting into the sound design so much. Because with 2 operators, it's as simple as it gets, and it's really easy to directly, you directly see what you're doing, hear what you're doing, and get an idea of what's happening. I gotta take a leak real quick. I'll put on some music for you guys. Be right back. Okay, I'm back again. It's really funny when I'll do these long, full-length production streams soon. I mean, they could well be like 6 or 8 hours, and I'll have to, eat and drink and perhaps take phone calls, open the door for the UPS delivery guy, stuff like that on a stream. That will be an interesting experience, I'm sure. Okay, so let's do a sound from scratch then. We already dialed in, opened up the initial preset. With the ADSR of the modulator, I can now shape I can shape, actually seeing it. Just a second. If I turn up the sustain all the way, the modulator is now modulating the sound all the time. If I turn it down, it's modulating none of the time. And with the ADSR envelope, I can dial in an envelope of the modulation. Little click at the end might be because there's no release. Nope. Because there was no release on the carrier. Keep in mind the carrier is the one you're hearing, and the modulator is the operator that modulates the carrier you're hearing. So as you see, dynamic dub foundation, this is fairly easy. Apart from the ADSR on both operators, there's just two parameters on the carrier. Multiply and KS level. I'm not sure what that is actually. You might, this is just the first time using this. And the same two here plus this and that. I'm not sure what they actually are, but I'll figure these things out before doing the in-depth review and the tutorial. But even not exactly knowing what these are, I can pretty much shape. Shape a sound already. Wow, that's a very long attack. Where is it coming? Is it at all? Wow. Nice. I'm not sure why these steps are audible. Vibrato and tremolo. One sound I always try, I'm not a specialist for FM synthesis, and I don't know many sounds that well that I can program them right away, but the very, very basic sound I know is the classic UK garage bass. You can do it with only two operators, and you can do it on every FM synth. I'll try to make that. I put that away from the gear. Okay, for the need like a higher attack. Lower sustain. Here we go. not sure where I'm getting these steps. Can you hear that? Close enough. Maybe these clicks or steps are due to this kind of... Maybe it's maybe the chip that is emulated, it just allows a certain number of steps in the envelope. That's possible. Dynamic Dub says, and then combine it with an M1 brass or a piano sound. Yeah, exactly. That's. I have an M1 plugin here. Let's check the bass presets again and see if they have this wow bass. I can hear these steps there too. So maybe they're part of what makes this this PSS sound. Okay. Sweep. We could try. I'm not sure how much my computer will be able to do, because I'm streaming and using live on the same computer, and it's already pretty under pressure. But at least let's combine a couple of tracks of this, just to get a first idea of how it adds up. I would like to do that if you're down with that. So there should be a drum kit. Okay. Let's just dial something in. Okay. I will make this window a bit smaller. Of more control over able in here. I would like to have this hi-hat a bit yellow type of drums. Yellow type of drums, says Dynamic Dub Foundation. Yeah, I guess. Let's see if we can at least adjust. Here's the tabs. Hi-hat. So here's the hi-hat. The pitch affects both hi-hat and snare drum. So if I raise the velocity, apparently it also loses a bit of the release, and I think in this case that's good. Okay, let's turn off the metronome. Next, let's add a bass, perhaps. I have a nope. Let's try this again. Yeah, it'll do. Not too sure about that, but okay, that'll do. Let's add some more swing here. Oop. Okay. And let's add another instance. Okay, computer's at 82 degrees now. Won't be able to add so much more before this thing blows up, but perhaps let's try some keys. I remember there was a nice E piano. start point here? Is it even possible? I wish it was. Seeing what I'm doing. Plugin is in the... Why is the plugin even... I can't even... What is this? Sorry guys, when I open the plugin, it opens in the other... on the other screen. And it's so far up there that I can't even grab it. Is that? That's so weird. Oh. Here it is. Okay. So I open an instance of M12 filter by Arturia just to try if I can make this pad a bit more interesting. I'll just add a fourth track. Oh, just duplicate this. Just throw a lead on there, just to give myself the feeling that it's something. Taking these piano lessons my mom keeps bugging me about as a kid. I just do it now. And there's the G-Funk, says Dynamic Dub Foundation. I even wasn't heading for G-Funk, but sort of. Coming up with musical ideas live with people watching. I'm barely able to do it with no people watching. This pitch bend is a bit too... Let's fix that. It's a bit too long. I want it to end here. Okay, we need to double it. Now some sort of Dynamic definition says sometimes everything is possible. Yeah. There are magical moments in life. This is not necessarily one of them, but they do happen. Okay. Of course, the drums. Drums are a big part of this now, and imagine switching them for something else. This could work. Pump them up a bit to the drum bass. Okay, the point of this was to get a first idea of how separate instances of PortaFM, the new plugin we're checking out today, might add up, what kind of general sound aesthetic or vibe you will get when making something exclusively with PortaFM. And it definitely has a retro, lo-fi, crunchy quality to it. Very nice. I'm sure more gifted musicians than myself can do pretty nice stuff with this. I can see it working in a grime context or UK bass context, as I said earlier. Also, something, especially the bell sounds and some of the pads would work well in synthwave or retrowave music. But yeah, and everything chiptuney, game tunes style kind of stuff. There's somebody like Cuckoo probably would love this. Yeah, there are many possible, I guess, many kinds of music you could want to use this. I really like it. I enjoy it. My first impression of PortaFM is very good. It's a cool plugin. It's affordable. It's rather simple and easy to use. Which, yeah, this is big words for somebody that managed not to use it properly in this live stream. But yeah, it was the first time I opened the plugin up. So come on. I will dive into the manual and perhaps see if anybody did a tutorial or something already. I'll learn it properly and I'll shoot a tutorial video with it and a review. That'll be out soon on the channel. And yeah, perhaps I'll even do a little kit with sounds that I made during the process and put them on my Patreon or something. You never know. There will be a live stream of like a music production live stream very soon, like full length. It's an experiment. I want to do this. I'm not sure if I will do a track completely with PortaFM there. I rather just work on a track I recently started. I really want to finish. It's a synthwave track. And there I focused on classic, mostly emulations of classic vintage synths and threw in a little sampling action and some analog rhythm. And yeah, it sounds pretty nice already, but I really want to finish it. I'll guess that will be the topic of the full-length live stream. But I can really imagine PortaFM in that track. As a matter of fact, I will try to incorporate it. So yeah, that was today's Boing Boom Talk live stream. Thanks for tuning in. It was fun hanging out with you guys. Feel free to get in touch if you missed the live stream. Any thoughts, questions, suggestions, leave a comment if you watch this on YouTube. If you watch this on Facebook as well. ILWCSS says, cool, looking forward to it, thanks, I appreciate it. Dynamic Dub Foundation says, got a little preview. Yes, I have, indeed. I can show you a little preview of that track. I guess it's this one, we'll see. I'm working on a series of synthwave tracks at the moment, so I think the one I'm loading might be the one. Yeah, so as said, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. Hey, there's Marek, thanks, take care, he says. Hi Marek, one of my patrons, nice to see you back here on the live stream, appreciate it. I got totally derailed by your comments. It happens. Okay, rewind. Let's quickly listen here. Nope, this is not the track I was talking about. So it has to be this one. Loading. I'll give you a quick sneak preview. Dynamic Dub Foundation says, thanks for streaming, looking forward. Thanks a lot. Thanks for joining me in the stream. It was fun hanging out with you guys. I was pretty cranky and pissed off when we started the stream. As I mentioned, didn't have the nicest day. But this was a great way to finish an otherwise not so great day. Really enjoyed it, and I'm in a way better mood now. Perhaps because I'm on my second Club Mate already. But also, I enjoyed the stream. So, is this track, has it loaded? No, it's still loading. I'm not even sure how to do the full-length stream because streaming and producing on the same computer really is a problem. Streaming is quite demanding for the CPU, I learned, because it has to encode the video stream in real time. Club Mate is the best, yes it is. I'm a Berlin boy, it's what I drink. I brought back like 3 huge bags of empty Club Mate bottles to the supermarket last week, and they looked like at me like I was a crazy guy. Like who drinks these amounts of Club Mate? It's not natural, and actually it isn't. But I think I drink 1 or 2 a day. That's my normal. That's my normal ration. Track is still loading. I think we will not be able to take a listen to it. My computer is really heating up. On the long term, I will try to get a second computer. So there's one for production and one for streaming. Keep it separate so we don't have any issues with CPU, etc. in Ableton. But that will take some time, and I'll have to save up for that. Oh, I think Ableton froze. Yes, it did. Huh. No worries, we'll try again. The background is a song of mine. It's called Angst. I also did a music video for that a while ago. It's on the channel. If you haven't seen it, take a look. It's it turned out nice. It was a nice project. I edited the video from old footage from the Prellinger archive. It's an archive of public domain footage, and mainly it was footage from old 1920s and 30s public service announcements, PSAs, about health, disease, some from the 40s or 50s about nuclear awareness, like duck and cover stuff. Yeah, I have fun. Dynamic Dub Foundation asked, will there be any German streams? I don't know. I I don't think so, because most of my viewers speak English, because they're from the US or UK, and I don't know if there's a need for me streaming in German. I don't know anything about the German music tech YouTuber or streaming scene. But tell me, are there people streaming in German about this kind of stuff? I mean, very happy to look into it. German. The thing is, when you shoot German videos or German streams, the number of people that would potentially watch them is way smaller, of course, because there's not so many German-speaking people. And also there's like this international, or perhaps not even international, but partly international scene of creators and synthesizer people, and English seems to be the language upon many of them have agreed to get in touch with each other. And there's so many channels of people from Sweden, Norway, all kinds of countries. They all stream in English, so oh no. I have big difficulty slaughtering this project. Sorry guys, I will not be able to show you a preview of the synthwave track that I'll be working on the full-length stream, but I'll announce it in time when it's going to happen, and then you'll hear it, and you can join me finishing it. Okay guys, that's it for this week. That was Boing Boom Talk, episode number 2, my weekly video live podcast about music production, technology, synthesizers, drum machines, and all this kind of stuff. Thanks for joining. I'll be live on the channel and live on Twitch and YouTube next Saturday around 7 PM CET again. Next Tuesday there will be a new episode of In the Loop, my weekly music tech update on YouTube, and also there's a review coming up about the circuit, in-depth review about the circuit monostation from Novation, and a lot of stuff I'm working on at the moment. So keep in touch, subscribe to the Twitch channel, YouTube, Facebook, whatever does the trick for you. Have a nice weekend. Don't forget to make some music today, and thanks for joining. Bye bye. See you guys.